or someone you love likes wrestling, you'll want to pay attention.
Tonight, two global powerhouses under a spotlight the world has never seen. WWE on ESPN. This isn't just an event. It's a moment in sports history.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
The world will be watching.
We're gonna light the world on fire.
This is WrestlePalooza tonight.
If you or someone you love likes wrestling, you'll want to pay attention.
Tonight, two global powerhouses under a spotlight the world has never seen. WWE on ESPN. This isn't just an event. It's a moment in sports history.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
The world will be watching.
We're gonna light the world on fire.
This is WrestlePalooza tonight.
If you or someone you love likes wrestling, you'll want to pay attention.
Tonight, two global powerhouses under a spotlight the world has never seen. WWE on ESPN.
Then, now. Forever. Together.
Earlier this year, WWE took over Indianapolis with the Royal Rumble. The Pacers took the city on a ride to the NBA Finals. Now the NFL's Colts have taken the city by storm, led by quarterback Daniel Jones. And tonight, the city hosts history, the first ever WWE Premium Live event on the brand new ESPN app. The undisputed WWE champion is back and out for revenge against the man who tried to cost him his career. Cody Rhodes is here, but he has to meet that man, the Scottish warrior, Drew McIntyre, who claims Cody is blinded by the title and eaten up by paranoia, as Drew is going to take the championship and save Cody Rhodes tonight. Well, history will be made. The WWE has arrived on ESPN, and we whet your appetite with a WrestlePalooza countdown show.
And to listen to the voices of America.
Alien, rated R.
A knock on our door.
Entertainment with the newest network, ESPN.
ESPN and WWE. They weren't exactly titans of American broadcasting. They were upstarts.
Welcome, everyone, to the ESPN Sports Center. In this very desk, in the coming weeks and months, we'll be filling you in on the pulse of sporting activity.
In just a moment, we're going to take you to the match, a very controversial match, and there is no doubt everyone...
Outsiders.
Now, I'm still not sure just exactly how it works.
Oddities.
And these are people that cannot be controlled.
But the stories they told, the best of them anyway,
And we'll have a full tribute.
were of a piece. All the way live.
Up to the satellite and onto your screen.
Ending on a bang. But landing with a wink.
If it's up to me, we're running these highlights every night on SportsCenter. Aesthetically, there's a problem with it. It's something, it's technical stuff.
Whatever the prevailing technology or the size of the screen, they listened.
The Rock did people made The Rock.
And that's how it happens. How outsiders go mainstream. Renegades morph into heroes.
Let's go!
And orthodoxies evaporate.
Lawrence Taylor will wrestle in WrestleMania.
Those time-worn lines between what's scripted
Gronkowski's in the ring!
and what's not.
Dennis Rodman. On Monday, he didn't show up for work.
Dennis Rodman is here!
Some things worth missing practice for, brother.
Between athletics
It's true!
The wrestling style takedown.
Touchdown, Aaron Rodgers.
and amusement
Can I get one more of those?
Sure.
don't apply anymore.
Shaq welcomed into the world of the WWE.
The biggest names
How you doing that, Pat? Are they Super Bowl rings?
and the biggest games
Big 12 championship game. Let's go!
continue to cross over.
Halliburton and Brunson with a stare down.
Y'all are just absolute experts in the world of entertainment. And I'm a huge fan. There it is.
Wrestling isn't a metaphor for the national condition,
This is very, very entertaining. There's nothing bigger than the WWE.
but a reflection of it.
Best feeling in the world. Amazing. Best feeling in the world, bro.
This is the pinnacle of entertainment.
As are all games we play.
The undefeated Terrence Crawford.
Oh, here we go!
Sports is entertainment. Always has been. Always will be.
We are live outside the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis. Welcome to Countdown to WrestlePalooza, presented tonight by Cricket. WWE fans have filed in tonight, getting ready to make history on ESPN as part of WrestlePalooza. Hello again, everybody. I'm Michael Cole outside the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I am joined tonight by my illustrious panel. None other than the former WWE champion, former Mr. Money in the Bank, Big E, is here tonight.
It's beautiful to be here. Look, I grew up watching SportsCenter and Game Day. I never fathomed that I would be a host on ESPN, but look at me now, mama!
Also here with me tonight, the man who will sit at ringside and call all the action on ESPN, my buddy, five-time Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett.
From an iconic sporting network, a great wrestling town, and a stacked card. Feels like nothing can go wrong, but this is WWE, and when things go wrong, it's a whole lot of fun, so here's hoping.
Well, listen, before we get started, I do want to say something about tonight and about the history that is about to be made between WWE and ESPN. Tonight is for me. Tonight is for Big E. Tonight is for Wade Barrett. Tonight is for every WWE superstar that has put their body on the line over the years to get to this point. Tonight is for Mike and Kylie and Julie and all Kasama and Tommy Cullen and all those backstage helping to make this moment happen. It's for Fathom and Evan and Lee and Timmy and in the truck trying to make this happen. Marty Miller as well. All our camera guys, Rambo and Stu down at ringside. You've got Rico. You've got Sweaty. You got Grogan. We're here because of all them. The studio, Adam Panucci, Mike Beard, and all my friends there who have made this moment happen. The creative team, the digital team, the office folks, that's why we're here. However, we would not be here. None of this would be possible if it wasn't for all of you. If it wasn't for the WWE fans who have supported us each and every step of the way, that is why we have arrived, that we are on ESPN.
Yeah.
Well, you see I've got an empty chair next to me, right? Well, we've got a very special panelist that is going to be joining us here this afternoon. He is the man who took this city on the ride this past spring. He's the man who led the Indiana Pacers to the NBA Finals. He is a massive WWE fan. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my friend, even though I'm a Knicks guy. Here is Tyrese Halliburton. We were so excited when we learned earlier today that Tyrese is going to be joining us on the panel tonight.
So if you're just playing around, you need to tell your
girl. Look at
him. Stop teasing me. I could change your
Welcome aboard. Honor having you here. Thank you, Tyrese.
A pleasure, my man. So Tyrese, you and I had a chance to sit down and talk a little bit earlier today. How excited are you to be a part of this whole debut on the ESPN app tonight?
I'm pretty excited, man. I'm pretty excited. I think like everybody else here, we're excited to have more WWE here in Indianapolis. We're getting very lucky that we're the only city that gets John Cena twice on this retirement tour. So excited to be here.
So there's a lot we're going to discuss over the next hour or so with Tyrese Halliburton, including Tyrese getting in the ring at some point in his career here with a buddy of mine, Jalen Brunson. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But let's get right to what's going to happen tonight and what is a massive card here at WrestlePalooza. Of course, we got the mixed tag match that everyone's talking about. That would be AJ Lee teaming with her husband CM Punk against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. You got the undisputed WWE Championship, Cody and Drew. You got the Usos reuniting tonight against The Vision. You got the Women's Championship, which I think is going to steal the show, Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer. And you have, for the final time, the renewal of a great rivalry in WWE. It is John Cena versus Brock Lesnar here tonight at WrestlePalooza.
What do you want me to sit here and put John Cena over for 25 years and talk about how great he is? I'm not your guy.
He is what we do. He was the first choice, and rightfully so.
If Brock Lesnar would have stayed in the WWE, you would not know the name John Cena today.
It was his table. He just decided not to sit at it. I don't carry any shame about how I got the chance, because that was the start of my hard work.
Is John Cena really the greatest of all time? Why should I believe that? Why would anybody believe that?
I'm not gonna stare the camera in the lens and tell you I'm gonna kick his ass. No. I'm going to tell you this is gonna be hard.
In your yellow calf stained t-shirts and whatever you want to wear out there, I ain't buying it.
In Indianapolis, I'm going to show up and bring the best that I have.
If John Cena wants his retirement with an exclamation point on it, I'm gonna retire John Cena.
I believe Brock Lesnar when he says he wants to end the tour early. I'll do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen.
I'm gonna retire John Cena. However I want to do it, and that's exactly what's gonna happen at WrestlePalooza.
And who is going to argue with Brock Lesnar? That will be the match that kicks us off tonight at WrestlePalooza, Lesnar versus John Cena. We've got reporters all throughout Gainbridge Fieldhouse, including Jackie Redmond, Kathy Kelly, who are backstage to discuss the Brock Lesnar-John Cena match. Let's kick things off with Kathy.
Yeah, thanks so much, Cole. Now, for the last 2 decades, Brock Lesnar has defined what dominance looks like here in WWE, and few of his rivalries encapsulate that better than his battles with John Cena. But this Brock is dangerous. This Brock is determined. We heard his threat last night that he is coming for blood. He considers tonight D-Day. That means that tonight is not just another match. Tonight, Brock Lesnar is hoping to end John Cena's retirement tour early. Jackie, more on the 17. Never seen 17.
Well, Kathy, listen, if there is a WWE superstar that can do that to the John Cena, it's probably Brock Lesnar. I mean, these two have gone one-on-one 6 times in their careers. Brock Lesnar has won 4 of those matches. In fact, John Cena has only ever defeated Brock Lesnar via pinfall once. One time ever. You know, it's funny, we're on ESPN today. I've spent over a decade covering sports, and we see it all the time. Just because you're the first place team, or maybe even the greatest of all time, there's always that one athlete, that one team that just has your number. And I do wonder, Cole, if Brock Lesnar might be that for John Cena. You might find out tonight.
Well, Jackie, I'll tell you what, if Brock Lesnar is in the mood that he was last night, I fear for John Cena. I want to take you back to what happened on Friday Night SmackDown last night. I was supposed to do an interview with Brock Lesnar. I thought I was heading back to the locker room. However, Brock decided he had, another way he wanted to do the interview. Okay, so this was from 10 years ago. I have no idea why they're showing this, but this is me getting an F5 by Brock Lesnar. Now we go back to last night on Friday Night SmackDown. And I'll tell you, I never felt so helpless in my entire life. And thank God that Corey Graves came in to try to talk Brock Lesnar off the ledge, but Corey did not deserve this. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that I had an opportunity to speak with Corey earlier today. He spent the night in the hospital. He's now home resting with his family. His neck is all screwed up. He said he's trying to keep good spirits, but we just don't know when Corey's going to be back. So I want to start with you, Tyrese. What do you see breaking down in this match tonight between Brock and John Cena?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a rock fight. I think the last time these guys saw each other, it ended in a DQ. Seth Rollins jumped in, so we never got to see the finish to that. So I'm excited. I kind of see this as the rubber match between the two, so I look forward to it.
Big E?
Look, every time these two are in the ring, John Cena gets pummeled. Whether he wins or loses, I expect the very same. If John Cena is going to have a chance tonight, he is going to have to learn to be the nail. That's someone who gets beat time and time again. Expect to be in Suplex City all night tonight, John Cena, but can you take all that punishment and continue to kick out? That is the question.
We have an insider term in our world. It's called a squash, when one person beats someone else really quickly. Brock Lesnar doesn't squash people, he massacres people, and I believe tonight is going to be a massacre of John Cena. The retirement tour ends here in Indianapolis.
The last time these two men went one-on-one was 11 years ago. Brock Lesnar hasn't had a match in 2 years. However, I don't think that means anything with Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar does not give a damn tonight. All he wants to do is end John Cena's retirement tour 3 months premature. And I think that it may happen. Do you agree with that? Or you think Brock's going to destroy John tonight, or you think Cena's got an opportunity?
Well, I think that Brock will do what Brock does. I think that we'll see a lot of suplexes. I think that John will begin thrown around the ring. But he's John Cena, so we're not all that concerned. I think that in the end, John will be resilient, and I look forward to the way he responds like he always does.
One of the things that have been in my mind over the past 24 hours, ever since the Brock situation last night, is 2014 at SummerSlam, in what I believe was perhaps the most lopsided match that I have ever called. Brock Lesnar destroyed John Cena, who was in the prime of his career, well on his way to becoming the GOAT. Brock Lesnar dominated him in a way that I never saw John Cena dominated before, and I'm afraid that could happen tonight.
Well, afraid is the right word, because John Cena has admitted he is afraid of Brock Lesnar because he's crossed paths with Brock Lesnar before, the aforementioned incident at SummerSlam 2014. Tyrese, I got to ask you, you're a hell of a competitor. You've had a million games of basketball at the very top level. Have you ever been afraid going into a match?
Never. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever said I'm afraid of anything.
Yeah, so that's scary for John Cena, who has had as many wrestling matches as you have had basketball matches, yet he is afraid. That is giving him a signal. Fight or flight. He's chose fight. It's the wrong move tonight.
Okay. Your basketball match, eh? That's what they call it.
It's called a game. Yeah. Nonetheless, real quick, Predictions, Biggie.
Look, whether we like it or not, I got Brock Lesnar. I think we're going to see, I don't love it either. But I think we're going to see something akin to what we saw at SummerSlam. I think it's going to be suplex after suplex after suplex, followed by an F5, and that's it.
Yeah, it's an unfair fight. It's Brock Lesnar. It's a human being against a different entity from another dimension. You cannot beat this man in a fight. It's Brock.
Tyrese?
I'm going never seen, 17. Give me John Cena.
Tyrese, I'm with you. John Cena's got all the momentum in this retirement tour. I think he is going to do something to pull off the win tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, also joining us, none other than the man from ESPN and Hot 97, Peter Rosenberg. Hey, Peter.
Guys, thank you so much. I am here. I was excited to talk basketball matches, but I'm going to keep it WrestlePalooza right now, guys. And of course, it is all about Brock Lesnar and John Cena. But there's one factor we didn't talk about. For so much of John's career over the last decade, and he's talked about this a lot, there was a split crowd. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. There will be no Cena sucks tonight. The crowd in Indianapolis is firmly behind John Cena. My man Wally is here for John Cena. If you guys came to see the Never Seen 17, make some noise right now. It's going to be a different kind of home court advantage for John Cena tonight. And of course, we'll see how it plays out to start the show at WrestlePalooza. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Peter. We have got a raucous crowd here outside the Gamebridge Fieldhouse, and I can only imagine what it's going to be like when we are inside, sold out for WrestlePalooza. It is a massive night for this man. The brains behind all of this, Paul Triple H Levesque, the Chief Content Officer of WWE. He's going to join this panel a little bit later on tonight. Plenty more to come on the countdown to WrestlePalooza. Here live from Indianapolis, Drew McIntyre interview, CM Punk and AJ Lee, all still to come tonight.
The way I feel right now, I feel like we need to be all alone.
How about this? Fresh off of Monday Night Raw, the Usos are here. This is fun. Monday Night Raw on the Sports Center.
We on ESPN. Come on, man.
The Scottish Warrior.
I'm a world champion without a world title. Finally, got Cody Rhodes.
Drew, you are the best guest that we have ever had. Triple H is here. Just go! Let's go!
Gotta get in here? Go ahead. I gotta get in here.
We are getting in the ring with Triple H.
With a powerhouse like WWE, in with a powerhouse like ESPN, it's next level.
Three-time Divas champion, AJ Lee.
One of the greatest wrestlers of all time, CM Punk.
Seth Rollins is a huge Bears fan. I don't want him to experience joy in any facet of his life.
Oh! Here we go with the WWE Heavyweight Champ.
You and your wife, Becky Lynch, taking on CM Punk and his wife, AJ Lee. We're going to find out, I guess, Saturday night if you and she are the best, or if CM Punk and his wife are the best.
No. Me and the wife.
Bring out the champ.
Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. You're always welcome on this show.
Those who tune in on Saturday night, what are they going to see?
WWE's roster has never been this stacked. There's somebody for everybody.
One of the dopest shows on ESPN. It's a show we put on like no other.
Tonight, he beats the hell out of John Cena at WrestlePalooza in Indianapolis.
Not so fast, my friend. John Cena, you can't see me.
If you have never tuned into WWE before, this is the time to do it.
Thousands of WWE fans are arriving tonight at the Gamebridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The WWE debut on the ESPN app, WrestlePalooza. And it's only appropriate that we are on ESPN tonight because many of our WWE superstars were great athletes in their former life. And Braun Breaker was a beast on the football field. He's a beast in the ring as well. The badass Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed of the Vision are here. Their sights are set on running through a tag team that stands in their way. Tonight, that is one of the greatest of all time. The reunion of Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. It's gonna be a war.
I said the Usos are now in your...
Let me remind you who's standing in the ring, Goose.
The most prolific tag teams in WWE history. Jimmy and Jay Uso reunited.
You the tools, and we the... At WrestlePalooza, you're going against the best damn tag team in the game. The Usos! The Vision runs Monday Night Raw.
The tribal thief Bronson Reed, a badass Braun Breaker. Seth Rollins' vision is clear. Absolute power, absolute dominance, absolute destruction.
Jimmy, Jay, the myth of you guys being the greatest is going to come to an end. Because at WrestlePalooza, we will beat you at your own game.
That bloodline that still runs deep in my veins, who's I'm gonna pull up for my family every single time.
WrestlePalooza, get ready!
Megan Moran and Sam Roberts outside the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and I tell you what, it just feels right out here. The Usos are back together as a tag team, and Sam, this is already one of the greatest tag teams of all time, but Jimmy re-enters the picture. A bigger star. Jay, a former world heavyweight champion. Tonight, it's gotta end up all Oos.
All.
Oos!
Possibly, and Indianapolis seems to agree, but here's the thing about the Usos. They haven't been on the same page.
Well, brothers fight.
They fight, but they don't have a common cause. They don't have the same reason for being. They don't have a vision. The vision has been following this plan of Seth Rollins from the beginning. Roman Reigns had to find out the hard way tonight. I think the Usos find out the hard way that this is WWE's first show on ESPN, and Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed are not going to squander that opportunity, especially with Paul Heyman back in the picture. I can't wait to recap this thing after the show on the WrestlePalooza Recap podcast, but until then, we're just gonna have to watch to find out.
Man, I'm gonna double tap. I'm like, I'm gonna double tap both of them. Both of them, bro. I'm trying to tell you, man. Look. Tonight's losers, huh? Man.
Well, good luck to Raw General Manager Adam Pearce trying to control this matchup here tonight. Usos versus The Vision, Braun Breaker versus Bronson Reed. First, I want to talk about the Usos, one of the most decorated tag teams of all time, 8-time tag team champions. In fact, it was in this city 2 years ago where the Yeet movement was born. Does that give the Usos some momentum coming into tonight, Big E?
I think so. I was initially a bit concerned that the Usos weren't quite on the same page. And going into a match with the Bronze not being aligned, I was fearful that they were going to get run out of the building. But I think we've seen the Usos that remind me of the Usos that we in the New Day faced when the Usos Penitentiary was just getting off the ground. I love seeing how much those two have been together, how aligned they've been. I think you look at me like I'm saying something crazy right now.
Are we watching the same two Usos?
I think the Usos we've seen the last couple weeks, the last week or so, I see them aligned again.
No chance. Okay, there has been non-stop disagreements between Jay and Jimmy over the past several weeks, lingering around the LA Knight issue more than anything else. Now, the issue is this. They went their separate ways as a tag team after being the greatest tag team of all time. When they went singles, Jay Uso undeniably had more success than Jimmy Uso. Now they get back together. Are they back in unity? Are they back as equals? Or is Jey Uso now the leader? And if he is the leader, and I think he is in his own mind, that is not going to sit well with Jimmy Uso, and therein lies the issue tonight.
Jay sounds a lot like Roman Reigns as of late. I want to ask you this question, Tyrese, being an athlete. The Usos, of course, so accomplished, one of the great tag teams of all time. And now you've got this up-and-coming team of the Vision in Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Being an athlete, a lot of times it may be the underdog, especially the Pacers the past few years, but you've always gotten to the next step and the next step into the finals. How important is it for Braun and Bronson to win this match tonight, to prove that they belong at the upper echelon of WWE?
Well, I think it's just them establishing themselves as one of the top teams. And to establish yourself is that you got to beat whoever's ahead of you. And the Usos, like you said, I think are one of the greatest, if not the greatest, tag team of all time. Regardless if they're arguing, regardless of what's going on, they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. So you get this win, you get this on your resume, it boosts you a lot. So this would be a huge win for the Browns.
Yeah, again, big tag team matchup tonight, the Vision versus the Usos. We are live outside the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, as we get set for a mixed tag team match tonight. A match between CM Punk and the returning AJ Lee against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. For more on this mixed tag team action, let's check in with Kathy Kelly.
Well, guys, I have an absolute crew out here, and I think we have all seen the lengths that Seth Rollins will go to deceive his opponents when we are realizing, like husband, like wife. Now, the Visionary and Becky Lynch, they were feigning some friction earlier this week ahead of their match against CM Punk and AJ Lee, but it seems that both duos are on the same page and ready to prove that they are WWE's power couple tonight. Now, AJ Lee is the reason why I started watching wrestling, and it is very surreal to see her back. So who do you think is going to take it home tonight?
I think it's going to be CM Punk and AJ Lee.
Who do you guys think?
CM Punk and AJ Lee.
CM Punk and AJ Lee.
CM Punk and AJ Lee.
That is unanimous out here. So what do you guys think?
Well, I'm going to start with Big E because of the relationship that he's had over the years with AJ Lee. One of the reasons that you came up to Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown was because of AJ.
No, absolutely. She was the reason I got to the main roster. Also, she's someone who's also very experienced in mixed tag team matches. We had one, 12 years ago at SummerSlam together. We were not, unfortunately, it did not go our way, but she is fired up. This is someone who I think a lot of people never saw coming back to WWE, but she is energized, seeing her impact on the industry, seeing the love she's gotten from fans, I think is really going to carry her through tonight.
Wade, Becky Lynch was just named the greatest WWE women's wrestler of all time by Bleacher Report. She's teaming, of course, with her World Heavyweight Champion husband, Seth Rollins, tonight. Will they dominate?
I don't know about dominate. I do think they're going to be victorious. I think we all saw the honeymoon period of AJ Lee's big return, which is massive for this industry, is truly over. It ended when Becky Lynch connected with a manhandle slam last week on AJ Lee. It completely wiped out AJ Lee. That is the first live round AJ Lee has absorbed in over 10 years, and it did not go well. One of them connects tonight. It's game over.
Tyrese, who's going to win this thing?
I think that's a pretty easy decision for me. I think I'm going with CM Punk and AJ Lee. There's no...
We're going to find out. Well, we are in Indianapolis, Indiana. Tonight is the first ever WWE Premium Live event, streaming live on the ESPN app. Gainbridge Fieldhouse will be sold out tonight. Now, if you can't be here, the next place to be, Cosm, in either Los Angeles or Dallas. The most interactive experience for all WWE Premium Live events. So cool. It's a great atmosphere. You can be here without being here. A little bit later on, Stephanie McMahon will be joining us here on the Countdown panel. I want to show you a little sneak peek of what's coming up on our What's Your Story podcast with none other than the Gronk, Rob Gronkowski.
My favorite was the security guard didn't know that I was part of the show. And she looked at me and grabbed me, and I looked at her and I said, "Oh, you don't know." She don't, like, I know, like, when someone's playing the part, I knew she wasn't tipped off. I was like, "Oh." So I played back. I was like, all right, this will be fixed. But I was like, I ain't fighting this girl because I know it's going to.
Yeah, of course not.
So I played back. I was like, I'm sorry. She kind of like put me back in my seat, and then a couple people radioed into her, and then she looked at me and she was like, "Oh." back to me. She was like, oh. And I was like, yeah.
And I want to continue our discussion of the mixed tag team matchup tonight. AJ Lee's returned to action after a decade. She's fired up. She's ready for this. But I don't know. Becky Lynch is in the prime of her career. She's one of the greatest of all time. Rollins is the world heavyweight champion. He's got Seth Rollins' number. I just don't know how Punk and Lee pull this off tonight.
Look, I think we're seeing a very crafty version of Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. And I think that's what Punk and AJ are going to have to be prepared for. Those two, their mind games, their ability to understand that ruse where it looked like they weren't on the same page. They started bickering only to leave AJ laying, to leave Punk laying as well. I think those two, as far as their wrestling IQ, they're at the top of their game. And I think that's something that AJ and Punk are going to have to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that 2025, to me, has been undeniably the year of Seth freaking Rollins. He's won everything. He's got back to the very best that he's ever been. He's captured gold, and he has outsmarted CM Punk every single step of the way. He has effectively ruined CM Punk's big return to the top of the mountain. And I think that continues tonight. There is so many machinations, game plans, tactics, strategies going on in the minds of Seth freaking Rollins and Becky Lynch that I think they come up trumps tonight.
Tyrese, at some point, though, right, CM Punk has got to be able to break that spell that Seth Rollins has on him, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think if there wouldn't be any better time to do it than wrestling with your wife. Like, I feel like that helps more so than anything.
And let me ask you, I'm sure there's a team, right, in your career that you just can't beat. Like, they always seem to have your number. Mentally, as you're getting ready for that game, how do you get yourself up to go in there and try to beat a team you've never beaten before?
Well, I think that the encouragement, the energy is always going to be there. When you're playing somebody or against somebody who you've never beat, there's more motivation. I think it just stacks up on top of each other. And I feel like we can expect a very motivated and ready to go CM Punk tonight.
Okay, prediction time. Start with you, Tyrese. Who wins this thing?
I'm going to go with CM Punk and AJ Lee. Punk looks happy. I'm going Punk and Lee.
Wade?
I think the years out of the ring for AJ Lee are going to prove costly tonight to the shock of everybody. I'm going with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch.
Ain't no way after a decade out of WWE with all the love from the fans, there is no way that AJ Lee loses tonight. I got Punk and AJ for the dub.
I cannot believe that I'm actually going to agree with Wade Barrett on this one. And I'll tell you why. Becky Lynch, and she's not just saying this, Sports Illustrated saying it, Bleacher Report is saying it. She's the greatest of all time. Seth Rollins is the world heavyweight champion. They are at this level right now. Punk and AJ Lee are down at this level. I believe that it's going to be Seth and Becky winning this mixed tag team matchup tonight. Sorry, guys. But anyway, it's going to be exciting to see what happens between the mixed tag team matchup. Plenty more to come on the Countdown Show tonight, including a look back at Tyrese Halliburton's time getting into the ring.
Welcome to the official Riyadh season opening ceremony 2024.
Starting to file into the Gainbridge Fieldhouse as we get set for WrestlePalooza, the WWE debut on the brand new ESPN app. We've got reporters everywhere, including Peter Rosenberg, who's somewhere in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Cole, thank you so much. I am backstage with Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. Adam, I understand you have some breaking news concerning tonight's WrestlePalooza lineup. What do you got?
Oh, listen, Jack, you ever walk into a situation where you think you got it figured out and then there's just a little bit too much animosity?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Usos, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed just showed me that match, while it's going to be great on paper, has a little bit too much energy. And not to disparage my referees, I love my referees, but I think maybe tonight I need a referee that's a little bigger, maybe a little stronger, maybe a referee that knows these four a little bit better. A special guest referee, Jackie, that might be just a little bit pissed off.
Sounds like you might be talking about me.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. LA, can I get an immediate comment on how you plan to handle this tonight?
Jackie, let me talk to you. I don't want to referee this match. I don't want to even be involved in this. As far as I'm concerned, screw Braun, screw Bronson, Jimmy's cool, screw Jay.
Hey.
I'm only here to make sure that this match goes down. Look, the rules are going to be a little flimsy here tonight, boys. So you can do anything you want. You can beat the hell out of each other for all I care. But here's the thing. My only job, my only concern is to count the three. Or if somebody says, Uncle, I give up, then I'll ring the damn bell. But there's one man who can do this job. With two Usos, with two Browns, there is and can only be one with everybody saying L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much, LA Knight, for your thoughts as you prepare to referee tonight's tag team match. Listen, Peter, I know you and I both watch a lot of sports. Even the most well-intended official has a hard time calling it down the middle. We'll see if LA Knight can do that tonight.
Very well said, Jackie. We've certainly seen that. LA Knight will have a lot on his hands, but you mentioned the world of sports, and of course today, so much conversation about the relationship of ESPN and WWE and the world of sports and professional wrestling. It goes back a long, long way. So many incredible moments, and we want to take you through just a few of those classic moments.
Tonight, WWE ushers in a bold new chapter with WrestlePalooza, the inaugural premium live event on ESPN. The athleticism, larger-than-life personalities, and crossover shared between professional sports and pro wrestling makes this partnership absolutely perfect. Since its early days, WWE has attracted the biggest names in sports and pop culture, with some even stepping into the ring. At the very first WrestleMania in 1985, the greatest himself, Muhammad Ali, made an appearance as a special guest referee in the main event. Since then, the very best from the boxing world would transition to WWE. Like Floyd Money Mayweather, competing in a blockbuster bout. And Iron Mike Tyson, showcasing his knockout power.
All right, there! Tyson! There goes Michael!
But what happens when an NFL athlete steps off the gridiron and into the squared circle? WrestleMania 2 brought in NFL giants, such as the refrigerator William Perry, to put that theory to the test in a seismic battle royal. Size and strength can make the difference between victory and defeat. Just ask Lawrence Taylor, who went from Super Bowl champion to headlining WrestleMania 11 against Bam Bam Bigelow. In today's football landscape, we've seen plenty of players join in on the action, no matter what position they play. Whether it's tight end, offensive lineman, or even punter, these athletes can stand toe-to-toe with some of the best WWE has to offer.
Gronkowski's in the ring!
Whenever an NBA icon enters through the ropes, you know it's must-see TV. Who could forget when Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman carried their on-court rivalry to the mat, respectively tagging alongside Diamond Dallas Page and Hollywood Hulk Hogan. But they aren't the only time NBA adversaries would square off.
Halliburton and Brunson with a stare down. Somebody get the commissioner on the phone.
While most athletes have their moment to shine, not every appearance goes according to plan.
Oh no! Austin Smuts McAfee! P-Rose just got tombstone! He did it again! Somebody help poor Pete!
For some of the biggest names in wrestling, their journeys didn't begin in a WWE ring. The football field was a proving ground for Hall of Famers Ron Simmons and Goldberg. And for current superstars Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns. While competing in amateur wrestling, Kurt Angle won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Before he was slamming bodies, Mark Henry was breaking powerlifting records. But no one dominates the competition like the Beast. Brock Lesnar's championship pedigree in the NCAA and UFC cements him as one of the most dangerous combat athletes in the world. Time and time again, we've seen how seamlessly athletes transition into the world of WWE, captivating audiences across the globe and creating unforgettable moments.
Oh my Lord! Are you kidding me?
As WrestlePalooza kicks off this historic ESPN partnership, WWE has never felt more at home than with the premier destination for all things sports.
And obviously, Brock Lesnar, of course, one of the greatest, most decorated athletes in the history of WWE. But Cole, Mike Tyson was mentioned in that package, but you could make the case that without Tyson's involvement, the entire Attitude Era, the Monday Night War, could be completely different. That's just how intertwined sports and WWE have been over the years. Back to you guys.
Indeed, Peter, and I remember Mike Tyson, one of my first interviews in the WWE in San Jose in the Shark Tank in a skybox, setting up that whole angle for WrestleMania. Before we get to Tyrese's experience in WWE, I do want to say a couple of things. First, I can't believe that I mixed up Peter Rosenberg and Jackie Redmond. That would be the first thing. The second thing is this. We're on ESPN, so we can talk sports quick, right? Syracuse beat Clemson in football today. Kurt Herbstreit predicted Clemson to win the matchup. Herbie, we kicked your ass. Okay, let's get to Tyrese Halliburton. Listen, you've been in the ring. You went face to face with Jalen Brunson. You even got involved in SummerSlam. What's it like to actually feel that emotion and get involved in a WWE action?
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun. This was over there in the Garden. They were booing me out there. They don't treat me very well in the Garden. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't like me out there. But no, it was a lot of fun. I didn't want to hurt anybody, so we got out of the ring. But I've had a lot of fun in doing a lot of different things with WWE. So
and of course, Tyrese, I want to ask you the Achilles tendon. How's it coming along?
It's healing. It's healing. I'm walking. I'm here in 2 shoes, so you know, it's the little things right now.
And you don't have a crutch. However, the crutch came into play last month at SummerSlam, right?
Yeah.
Take us through that again.
Yeah, so I thought I was just there to watch a good match between Cody and John, and next thing you knew, John walked up to me. I thought we were going to dap, embrace each other. I guess he didn't like me either. Gave me the "you can't see me," took my crutch and used it against Cody. I had no idea, never got the crutch back.
Wade, Big E, you guys have been involved with athletes as well over the years here in WWE. It just adds a special something to this entire atmosphere, doesn't it?
No, absolutely. When you have these larger-than-life personalities who come in and do incredible things. Also, I know we talked about Ron Simmons in the package, but I have to say, I think as far as pedigree is concerned, the greatest college athlete to ever step foot in WWE. We're talking about a man who is a college football Hall of Famer, a 2-time consensus first-team All-American. He is 9th in Heisman voting as a nose tackle. Ron Simmons, a legend, okay? A lot of love to Ron Simmons. He did incredible things at Florida State. But no, sir, because you know little about college football. That's why.
College football, soccer's my game, or should we call it real football, as we call it in England.
How dare you?
Cole gave a nice shout out to Syracuse. I'll give a nice shout out to Preston North End, who beat Derby County today 1-0. Great job, PNE. But WWE is about the best athletes in the world competing. So if there are any great athletes out there in any sport, including the likes of Tyrese Halliburton, come on down. We will find a place for you. You want to compete? This is the place to do it, right here in WWE on ESPN.
Well, one of those athletes that's been involved over the years, none other than former New England Patriots great Rob Gronkowski. We saw him get involved a little bit earlier on. Now, you guys have all checked out Stephanie McMahon's podcast, What's Your Story? Tremendous. She has great guests each and every week, including the Gronk coming up. Here's a sneak peek.
My favorite was the security guard didn't know that I was part of the show. And she looked at me and grabbed me. And I looked at her and I said, oh, you don't know. She don't, like, I know, like, when someone's playing the part, I knew she wasn't tipped off. I was like, oh, So I played back. I was like, all right, this will be fixed. But I was like, I ain't fighting this girl because I know it's going to.
Yeah, of course not.
So I played back. I was like, I'm sorry. She kind of like put me back in my seat. And then a couple people radioed into her. And then she looked at me and she was like, oh, back to me. She was like, oh. And I was like, yeah. And then I leveled Jinder Mahal. There it is.
There it is. He's taunting you. I mean, really?
That's a 15-yard penalty.
Look at that.
Look at that. I look
Look at
mean.
him. You do look mean.
I look mean.
Your hat makes you look extra mean, right?
It does.
Oh.
He stole my drink. He drank it. And then he threw it at me. That's when I knew he meant business. That was disrespect.
Disrespect right there. And then he turns his back on you as if you don't even matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Pshaw.
Jerk.
I was hoping they'd show.
Oh.
Right
This?
Here we
No,
go.
her
Oh, here
not
she goes.
letting him
Here
in.
she
Here
comes.
she
Oh, yeah.
Oh, get the
Oh, my
back,
gosh.
sir. Get
That's
back,
what I knew.
sir.
Look at her.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
no,
Look
she
at-
meant
They're
business.
like, no.
You know,
he's
what's
in
her
it.
name? The security guy's name? The
Lisa.
security girl. Lisa. That's what it was. We became like best friends after
Yeah,
that.
my kids love Lisa, and they were telling me the story afterwards. They were like, Lisa didn't know.
Yo,
Lisa
I
had
can't
no
look,
idea.
look how jacked and big I was back then.
Huge.
Holy I was Diesel back then. Damn, I got to get back to that size. You want to know what's crazy? It's like I weigh more than I do, like right there. But
Yeah?
I'm not that big anymore. Like,
And then
I
you
got to get that big again.
absolutely
Look at that.
fear him.
Bam.
Oh, yeah.
Bada boom.
Oh, yeah. You're just a little bit excited. I mean, like a little excited
Dang.
there.
I'm Jack Diesel there.
You know what's so cool about Stephanie is being able to sit down and how engaging she is, and she can really get to the heart of the story, the bottom of the conversation. Stephanie is going to be on the panel a little bit later on tonight, and we're going to see a clip from her interview with Tyrese Halliburton. How was it to be sitting down with Stephanie for the podcast?
That was a lot of fun. It was my first time meeting her, and I think she challenged my thinking on a lot of different things. So that was interesting. I had a great interview.
We're going to see a clip from that podcast interview. Stephanie McMahon's What's Your Story a little bit later on here on the Countdown Show. Switching gears now, we've got to talk about our main event tonight, and that is for the undisputed WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, defending against that man, the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre, who earlier this week sat down with our own Kathy Kelly.
Drew McIntyre, you have made a lot of headlines and your actions have garnered a lot of backstage chatter. Months ago, you attacked Cody Rhodes with the WWE Championship and claymored him through the announce desk. I know you've explained your perspective on why you did that, but was that really about Cody?
What happened specifically with Cody and I is very simple, and as you say, I explained it already, but for a lot of our fans, I have to explain myself ad nauseum with the facts, so let's go again since we're on this big platform right now. Match was over. He attacked me, put my face in the post, cleared an announce table, not to fashion me a fine cuisine, to put me through it, and I retaliated. And that specific example was self-defense, so everybody stop asking me about it.
You could say that yourself and Cody have had very parallel careers, breaking into the industry around the same time. You were once tag team champions together.
Dashing ones.
The difference, your first WWE Championship win came during the pandemic in front of no audience. Whereas Cody's WrestleMania, 70,000 people in attendance. Does that affect you at all?
You remember 5 years ago, right? How terrifying it was, and the one escape during that period was WWE. I tried to be that centerpiece of the company, that role that Cody's in right now, when the world shut down, when the world needed a hero to step up. It was my face every week leading the charge. People have moved on so quickly. I was there when they needed me, and when I needed them, they weren't there. It wasn't until Hell in the Cell, where I bled out for everybody and I was gone for a few months, I saw the truth. I've wasted 20 years of my life. I fought for everybody. I sacrificed my family to be that guy for everybody, no matter what was stacked against me, and then moved right on. I realize what a lot of superstars don't realize, and they sit at home retired and they have so much regrets. You got to get what's yours right now. And I'm going to get what's mine right now, and I'm going to have no regrets. And that title is not what I want, it's what I need. And it's not what I deserve, it's what Drew McIntyre's earned.
Well, I think there are viewers that could chalk this up to you being jealous of Cody.
Okay. The eyes, I've always found, are the windows to the soul. You can always tell when somebody's lying by looking them right in the eyes. So do me a favor and zoom that camera right in. And look into my eyes right now when I tell you, there is not one single thing about Cody Rhodes that Drew McIntyre would ever, ever, ever be jealous about.
You've mentioned Cody being a politician. You've also called him a liar and a manipulator in the past. The WWE Universe loves him. So what is it that you think people are missing?
I mean, let's start with the liar thing. I mean, he said himself, Cody Rhodes is a liar. Listen to his podcast. I know there's a lot of content in WWE, but give it a listen. You know, he'll admit he lies all the time. He's a liabetic, he's got liabetes, he can't help himself, so let's move that one on. The manipulating aspect. We both have openly said we followed the John Cena approach. Give it my all, sacrifice everything. I did. Cody did exactly the same. The big difference between both of us, that he learned to kiss arse just as good as Cena. He managed to cut off legs from people that get anywhere close to him. Cody Rhodes doesn't care about anything else except that WWE Championship, and himself, and everything else comes second.
Could you argue that you feel the same?
Yes, but I'm honest about it. That's the difference between Cody and I. I tell the truth, I'm not a carefully crafted character. He knows I'm the biggest threat in his company. He would do everything he can to turn people against me because he knows I'm too clever to fall for his games, to fall for his act. He's got his opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Me, screwed, screwed, screwed. I just want a real chance, a real damn opportunity, and that's exactly what WrestlePalooza is.
Well, final question before I let you go. WrestlePalooza, very first premium live event streaming on ESPN. A lot of eyes will be on this one. What would it mean for you to walk out with that WWE Championship?
Vindication.
Oh, baby girl, let me see you do your dance, let me see you twirl. Shaking in the club with your homegirls. Take a pic for the gram, show the whole world.
That, of course, the boss of the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He is here preparing for his undisputed WWE Championship matchup against Drew McIntyre. Tyrese Halliburton will be back in just a little bit, but we are joined by a former two-time WWE, 8-time Intercontinental Champion, Mr. Money in the Bank, one of the all-time greats, The Miz.
Let's go! Thank you very much. I am excited to be here, and I'm excited about WrestlePalooza on ESPN, baby.
So let's talk about the championship match, the main event tonight between Cody and Drew McIntyre. What Cody Rhodes' first title defense since winning the championship back at SummerSlam, then Drew McIntyre took him out. Is Cody ready for tonight?
Well, let's face it. One swings a sword, one swings for sympathy. And Cody is all about the theatrics, all about the tears, the emotional speeches, the stories. And let's face it, Drew McIntyre led us through a pandemic when there was no fans, no noise. He was our MVP. He was the WWE champion. Everyone was talking about Drew McIntyre in a positive light. They loved him. He loses the title. Everyone turns their back on Drew McIntyre, forgets about Drew McIntyre.
I'm not sure they actually turned their back on him.
They
Oh, they did. I agree with Miz on this
everyone is disrespectful towards Drew McIntyre, and Cody wants to call him a keyboard warrior. He is the Scottish warrior. And Cody wants to talk about stories.
I just think
the ending of tonight's story will not be what Cody wants, and I am not letting you talk because I understand what Drew McIntyre is going through. Do you want to interrupt me?
No, because you've been a hypocrite like him throughout your career as well. So the fact of the matter...
A truth teller.
The fact of the matter is this. I think Drew Big E is just upset that he's not the world champion, that he got cashed in on a couple of years ago, that he hasn't been able to get back to the top of the mountain, and he wants to blame everybody but himself.
Look, he's someone who has accomplished so much in this industry and in this business as well. I think off the heels of the feud that he had with CM Punk, I expected him to be a mainstay in the title picture at the very top of the card, and I think there was some frustration.
He's there right now.
He's there now, Mike, but he wasn't before, is my point.
Takes time.
It does take time. Thank you so much for the interruptions. But I think Drew is someone who carries a lot of that frustration with him. And look, Dr. Tom Pritchard trained a lot of us, and one of the first things that he taught me when I got to FCW 16 years ago is that in this business you have to learn to eat excrement sandwiches. He didn't use the term excrement. You have to learn to eat it and like it. And I think Drew is someone who has never been that way. He is not one to do. So I think that a lot of the frustration comes from that.
You know what's interesting is that you guys were brought up with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. How did it get to this point, Wade?
I'll tell you exactly how it got to this point. First of all, let me give a quick shout out to Miz for his commentary yesterday on SmackDown. Absolutely masterful. I didn't want to neglect that. It got to this because Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes have had the exact same story. They both were treated like jokes early in their career. They both had to go away, reinvent themselves, come back, and scratch and claw their way to the top of the mountain. Cody, however, has been given every opportunity. He's been treated like the man by management, and he was given a fairy tale. Drew McIntyre has turned into a complete nightmare. Got to the top of the mountain without a nice last name like Cody has, and the second the world came back after the pandemic, Drew was cast aside and has been left there ever since. It's an absolute disgrace, and I agree with everything that our guest, The Miz, has said so far.
But I was going to say, a lot of that is Drew's own fault. A lot of that is Drew's fault. I think a lot of the times he spent a lot of time being petty and tweeting with CM Punk. A lot of that was his own undoing. Him continuing to stoke the fire, him continuing to push the buttons is why Drew is in this position right now.
Drew was not being petty. Drew was cost championships by CM Punk by outside interference in championship matches. The same can be said of the Bloodline. They did that to him. Damian Priest did that to him. These people are going after Drew in his big moments. Hopefully tonight it is an opportunity to finally win the big one with no outside interference. That's all we want.
I will end this discussion by saying this. You have to give people respect in order to earn it. Well, we got plenty more to come here on the Countdown Show to WrestlePalooza on the ESPN app here tonight. WrestlePalooza is presented tonight in part by Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Well, ahead of WrestlePalooza, WWE teamed up with ESPN and Indiana Sports Corp to make an impact in the Indianapolis community. WWE superstars visited the Riley Children's Hospital to spend time with kids and families there, handing out WWE and ESPN gift bags.
Ahead of WrestlePalooza, WWE, ESPN, and the Indiana Sports Corp teamed up to spread smiles at Riley Children's Hospital in Indianapolis. Superstars spent the day with patients and their families, sharing moments they won't forget.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is the man who, well, he's responsible for this. Let's just give him the props. He's the chief content officer of WWE. Paul Triple H Levesque joins us on the panel, coming up live next on the Countdown Show.
You remember the very first time we worked? Oh, okay. Let me remind you.
Oh, geez.
The very first time we worked, and I remember sitting down. I was like, "Hey, you know, just lay it in. I want it to be good, make it solid." And you are just waffling me, man. Just, I mean, hammering me.
Every punch, right?
Every punch, right in the ear, too.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, my gosh. So it's finally time for me to throw my first punch at you.
I remember.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah. So I draw back. I draw back, and I look, and your face is like... I mean, what are you doing?
Well, you're gauging like you're going to knock my head off. And I was like,
I'm a trained professional here. My ears, the thought did cross my mind because my ears throbbing. But I was just, it threw me off because I'm like, and you're like, oh. I'm like, are you serious? You've been wearing me out here for 5 minutes.
And I'll give me that face.
Oh man, yeah. But we did, man. There's a lot of matches that we had that that I look back on and will use to showing people how, you know, to work with a size discrepancy.
Man, we had great chemistry, man.
Yeah, I look back on those days, and I always liked working. Like me personally, I always liked working with smaller guys, right? And you and Eddie.
Eddie was great.
You guys had that rare ability. Shawn Michaels is in that group of guys too. You could make them forget the size difference because of how aggressive and tenacious you were. Yeah, I try to get people to do matches like that. No one, they don't want to work like that anymore.
Right.
They just don't feel. I think in this generation, it's not wrong. I understand because it takes a while to get it set up to really get to the payoff of it. But
right.
I would really love to see somebody like aggressively get after a body part, a leg.
Yeah. You know what? I think
stories.
now it's a lot of like high flying and acrobatic, and these guys are showing their athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
They're not showing like their working ability. You know,
that's a good point.
Psychology, just
right.
I mean, the guys do sell, but I don't. You know, a lot of times I see somebody that just took a devastating move and comes up and doesn't sell it. It's
right.
like, whoa, that's not how it's supposed to be, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that we're losing sight of where wrestling should be. You know, I know wrestling goes in stages. I know that, you know, we start with basic and, you know, tell the story the proper way, good guy versus bad guy and all that stuff. But after a while, you know, it just got, I'll give you an example. When I came into the business, there were no tie-outs. Everybody was throwing punches at the beginning of the match.
Right out of the get-go.
It was like, holy like this.
That was the trending thing.
Punches. This is crazy. But eventually.
This November.
The last time is now that I plan on going down guns blazing.
The greatest of all time goes garden to garden. One final time on Monday Night Raw.
So if you want some.
Boston, Monday, November 10th, and New York City, Monday, November 17th. Tickets on sale now.
Rated T for Teen.
So it's WWE now coming to ESPN. You want to get in on the fun? How about a refresher to get you set? Let's get you up to speed. This is WWE headquarters here in Stamford, Connecticut, where Andre the Giant's presence still looms large. And the intersection of sports and entertainment, it's never been bigger. NBA All-Stars, NFL icons, artists, entertainers, they're all in on the action.
Jelly roll with a choke slam.
It's gotten to the point where seemingly all other major sports championships seem incomplete unless they're celebrating with a WWE title belt. And when it comes to the superstars of today, well, the roster is deeper and better than it's ever been. Randy Orton is still RKOing everyone.
RKO! A Viper strike!
CM Punk holds arenas in the palm of his hand. And Jey Uso? Well, he's given kids a favorite four-letter word. But the guys aren't the only headliners. This is the most dynamic women's roster in history. Becky Lynch is still the man around here. Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton are physical phenoms.
Prettiest moonsault ever!
This era of WWE has everything. A tribal chief, a queen, and a visionary.
From the top of the cage! So many incredible athletes you'll get to know. So many storylines you'll want to follow. The greatest of all time, John Cena.
The biggest story this year has centered on John Cena. His long celebrated career is winding down, and it's finishing with an epic retirement tour.
The last time is now!
And oh, what a ride it's been. You see, back in March, fellow Hollywood megastar Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he lured John Cena to the dark side. All of a sudden, the forever good guy turned on the champ, Cody Rhodes.
What the? John, you want to go out like this?
Cena made history at WrestleMania, winning his 17th title, before seeing the error of his ways, becoming a fan favorite again, and battling Cody in an all-time thriller at SummerSlam.
In a final salute to the greatest of all time.
All was right with the world. The American Nightmare walked off with gold. Thank you, Cena chants rained down. But then...
Brock Lesnar is here. Oh, my God. Brock Lesnar with an F5 to John Cena.
And 11 years after they last met, these two living legends are going to war one last time at WrestlePalooza in Indy. So there you go. You're all caught up, ready for all things WWE on the enhanced ESPN app and streaming service. We're so glad you're back in.
Job well done from our friend Joe Tess. All right, we are officially less than an hour away from kicking off a historic WrestlePalooza live here in Indianapolis as we welcome you back to the countdown show to WrestlePalooza. And of course, it is a huge day for WWE, which means we have to kick off this event with a huge match, right? And what better way to do that than with two guys as big and as exciting as John Cena and Brock Lesnar. We've got reporters all over the place here in Indy, so for more on that match, let's check in with Kathy Kelly and Byron Saxton. Byron, what do you got?
Jackie, one of the determining factors for whether or not John Cena can defeat Brock Lesnar tonight could come down to the roughly 2.5 to 3 minutes before the match, because that's how long it takes Cena to make his entrance. And during that time frame, he's going to have a chance to reflect. Now, he could reflect on the fact that he's only beaten Lesnar once by pinfall in 23 years, or the fact that Lesnar has handed Cena the worst loss of his entire career. On the flip side, Cena could reflect on the idea that this is a monumental opportunity to put an exclamation point on his farewell tour, and remind any residual doubters out there that he truly is the greatest of all time. Well, for news on the Lesnar front, I sent things over to my broadcast partner, Kathy Kelly.
Well, thanks so much, Byron. I'm going to keep this short because, frankly, I am flustered. The man behind this door has me and I think everyone here on high alert after he did that to my friend, R-Truth, a couple weeks ago, and the pain just inflicted on our broadcast colleague Corey Graves yesterday. Like I said, I'm a little bit flustered just being here, but everyone outside, everyone backstage is on high alert because we all know the carnage that Brock Lesnar is capable of. And Jackie, everyone on the panel, I think we can only imagine what he is going to do to his target in John Cena tonight.
Yeah, Kathy, if last night on SmackDown was any indication, Brock Lesnar isn't beast mode, as they say. Welcome back to the Countdown to WrestlePalooza. Jackie Redmond and Peter Rosenberg tagging in for Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. You hear the crowd. They are chanting Triple H because, yes, we are in fact joined by WWE's Chief Content Officer, Paul Triple H Levesque. Paul, let's just start with the partnership because this is a huge day. For the first time ever, WWE is having a premium live event on ESPN. I know you've answered these questions a million times on every single show ESPN has to offer this week, but I will ask you this. If you could go back to like 25-year-old Triple H and tell him that WWE would be airing on ESPN, what would he think?
I don't know that I would think it would be possible. You know, there's moments in time where you've seen us be a part of ESPN, seen us be in commercials or seen us, you know, activate within there on small interviews, on you know, whatever that is. To be integrated the way we are right now, to be every much a part of ESPN's coverage as the NFL is, as the NBA is, as Major League Baseball is. They have embraced us. You know, I have thought it since the beginning that WWE is sports entertainment. ESPN, all sports are entertainment. It's what they are. We end up being in the same place all the time. The stars of those sports are fans of WWE and vice versa. It is the perfect fit for us. And nobody does big events like ESPN. So they are the perfect home for WWE because nobody does big live events like the WWE.
Absolutely. I know I'm a bit biased because of my relationship with AJ Lee, but I think of someone who I didn't anticipate ever coming back. I don't know how much you can divulge, but how long has this process of courting her, signing, how long has the process of talking to AJ before getting the deal done, how long has that been in
Well, look, it's been an idea in my head for a long period of time. It's something I've talked to others about. It's something I've, you know, spoken to CM Punk about. Turns out all I had to do was get somebody to slap the crap out of her husband. And,
easy enough.
Yeah, and here she is. So lucky us, unlucky CM Punk for the slapping part, but lucky for us because AJ Lee is back. And, you know, this is one of those things when you see somebody like her that has had an effect and an impact on so many young ladies, so many young women, so many of the superstars of today have been influenced by her. To see her back here, I can't wait to see it tonight. I had a chance to see some training footage of her. Looks like she hasn't missed a beat. This is gonna be awesome.
I'll say this too, like I'm not a wrestler obviously, but like AJ Lee has influenced me. Like coming up when she was wrestling in WWE before, I was a very young broadcaster. I played a lot of sports growing up. I wanted to be involved in sports and entertainment, and she was someone who did it different. And you know, she kind of influenced me a little bit in terms of the way that I approach hosting and the way that I do things. Like I don't have to do it the same way that everybody does it. It can be a little bit different. But I do believe it was Becky motorboating CM Punk that was the final straw. I think that's what it was.
Nothing gets to another woman like the motorboat. You know what I mean?
So Joe Tess said something in that awesome package that he did about the roster right now. And I was having a conversation earlier today about the like 02, 03 roster. And you know, that time in terms of there was a lot of great stuff that happened. It was an in-between sort of period. But when you look back, you had everybody. You were active. HBK was back. Hogan, Rock, Austin, everyone was there. Do you think for new fans who are going to find WWE now on ESPN that this current roster we have now could actually challenge that 02, 03 era for talent?
I absolutely believe that. And the beautiful thing about the roster that we have right now, because all of the names that you said are stars that have been doing this for a long time and are at the top of their game. But for every one of those you mentioned, there is a Braun Breaker breaking through underneath them. There is a Bronson Reed breaking through underneath them. There is a Gunther. There is a new crop of talent, right? There is a Rhea Ripley, who in the big scheme of things is fairly new here, right? There is a Stephanie Vicaire. And then on the flip side of that, when you get to those talent, there is a Trick Williams. There is an Oba Femi, right? There is an Ethan Page. There is a Sol Ruca. All of these names. That is the future. So not only is it deep at the top, it's deep in the middle and the people coming up, but it's deep underneath that. There is no stopping this roster. This roster will be on fire for years to come.
I think when I think about some of the biggest stars currently on our roster, on the show here tonight, I think of a lot of people who have either left and gone to other companies or were kind of done with their careers, but now it feels like things have shifted, and I think Punk alluded to it when he's talking to his wife as well, that the culture is so different now. Can you talk a bit about your approach as far as like bringing people who might have said, WWE's behind me, I don't want this anymore. There's so many people who are coming back home and seem energized by that. Have you just had a more open mind to working with talent who might not have wanted to come back?
I think so. I think myself, Nick Khan, we approach it differently. I think the layout of how we operate here, when you're trying to get to the top of the mountain, your drive, that grind has to be different. right? And it used the workload here used to be very, very difficult. It took a special person to be in that grind, a special person, a special performer to want to do that day in, day out for years on end. And it seemed like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. It's a bit different now. The culture is a bit different now. The way superstars approach things a bit different now. I just think it's a different time frame. Yes, we're more open. There's less workload, but that less workload opens itself up to a bit of scarcity that leads to a demand to me. So we have these talent. There isn't a day goes by that I don't get a text or a voicemail from somebody saying, I either want to come home or I've never been there. Is there an opportunity for me there? I'm overseas right now. I have this time left on my deal. Hey, I would love to explore WWE and come into the Performance Center, NXT, whatever that is. The opportunity right now where we sit, opportunities like Netflix, like the CW, like USA, like ESPN especially, open that door for talent to say, man, I'm in this place in my life, but I either want to go back to the top of the mountain or I want to be on the top of the mountain.
Woo! I love it. And, they said CM Punk would never be back in WWE. He's back. They said AJ Lee would never be back in WWE. She is back. As Kevin Garnett once famously said, under Paul Triple H Levesque, anything is possible based on what we've seen the last few years. It's been so much fun.
If you have a passion to be the best, and the desire and the what it takes to put in that work effort, that workload, to really grind to do this, to want to be the best, then I want you here. I want you to be able to prove to yourself and to the world that you belong among the best. And the only place to do that is WWE.
Well said. Paul Triple H Levesque, we appreciate you taking the time to jump on the millionth show this week and give us your thoughts on a historic WrestlePalooza tonight. Give it up for Paul Triple H Levesque as we continue the countdown to WrestlePalooza. Our Women's World Championship is on the line tonight. Io Sky has arrived here in Indianapolis as she gets set to take on Stephanie Vaquer. Let's check in backstage with Kathy Kelly.
I am here with Stephanie Vaquer, and Stephanie, you are usually so calm and collected, but tonight is the biggest opportunity of your career as you battle for the WWE Women's World Championship against Io Sky. Are there any nerves going through your head ahead of this match?
To be honest, yeah, I'm nervous, a little bit, but nervous sometimes it's good. Para mí es motivación. Today, we make history with ESPN and WWE. Today, I make history. Today is the more important match in my career. Today, I have a great opponent. Today, I become champion.
Well, I think you're right. Those nerves are definitely working for you. Guys?
Kathy, thank you so much. Stephanie Vaquer gets her shot at the Women's World Championship tonight. Also coming up on the Countdown Show, prior to being F5 by Brock Lesnar, Corey Graves sat down with CM Punk and AJ Lee in an exclusive interview we will show you coming up later on the Countdown Show. Also coming up, the Queen is here. She's my queen anyway. Stephanie McMahon joins us on set next here on the Countdown to WrestlePalooza. Stick around.
All my tattoos I get from me. I don't get my tattoos for anybody else. Marshmallow on a stick has absolutely zero meaning, except my friend's wife was a tattoo apprentice and she needed to practice. So like there's varying degrees of, I got this tattoo because this is my wife's lips, this means something to me, my deceased dog who I love very much, and then marshmallow on a stick. So there's different levels. I guess I'd be remiss to not mention the Pepsi tattoo. I think maybe that one probably, historically, over time, has gotten the most attention. The story with the Pepsi tattoo is there is a band called Minor Threat. It started in the early 80s in Washington, D.C. That's widely known to have started the straight edge subculture And the guitarist Brian Baker was asked in an interview I read while I was in detention, do you have a Coca-Cola tattoo? Why do you have a Coca-Cola tattoo? And his response was, I like Coca-Cola. And I was like, that's just punk rock right there, you know? Like, I don't like Coke, I like Pepsi. You know, I'm a Midwest kid at heart, so I got a Pepsi tattoo. That tattoo represents me being straight edge, and that's really kind of it. I know it seems silly to put a corporate logo on yourself, but it really has a deeper meaning, and it means so much more to me than just, you know, soft drink. Well, I got my wife's lips on my my wrist. So a lot of times if you see me in the ring and I do one of those, I'm, you know, saying hi to my wife. I have my Dalmatian, after we had to put her down, I have her paw print. Boy. The Bruce Lee inspired is all the water on my left arm. So that was that was the sleeve idea that kind of tied some of the bigger pieces I had together. The water, because Bruce Lee famously says, be like water. And that's something that I have, that resonated with me. And I famously am like water. Sometimes I float, sometimes I freeze, sometimes I crash. You know, sometimes I'm still. When it comes to having, you know, things, I don't really have a whole lot of things. I don't spend my money. I don't buy cars. I've been kind of a nomad my entire life, just hopping around, wrestling, going here. You go where you get paid, and you know, I've moved around a lot, so I don't really have possessions, you know, but the tattoos are very much that. They're snapshots of destinations along your journey. You know, a lot of the tattoos I have, like some of my favorite ones personally, I could tell you, you know, who I was with, how it happened, why it happened. I think that's why I'm probably a little bit more engaged doing this interview and this show, because this is fun for me. This is subject matter that interests me. And I do enjoy talking about it, because if I'm talking about my tattoos, I'm normally talking about things and people and places that I love.
I think the magic is out there under the lights.
This is uncharted water.
This is a calculated, coordinated production.
A lot can go wrong.
Tell them to go now.
It can get bloody, it can get messy.
Oh, no!
That's show business, baby. I want to make sure it makes some noise. There's a side of me that would get arrested.
This is insanity! We're gonna show you how the story unfolded before your eyes. Just getting started.
That's good.
Countdown to WrestlePalooza is presented by Cricket. Join Cricket Nation and get reliable nationwide 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket. All right, guys, in just a few hours, we will see CM Punk and AJ Lee, yes, you heard that right, take on Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch in a match that just a few weeks ago was nothing but a pipe dream. I cannot wait to see AJ Lee back in action, but before we get to that match and before Corey Graves unfortunately took not one but two F5s at the hands of Brock Lesnar, he got the chance to sit down with CM Punk and AJ Lee in their first exclusive interview together since AJ returns. Take a look.
Guys, first things first, thank you for your time. I gotta be honest with you, this feels a little surreal. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. With all the recent turns of events, this feels like something we thought we would never see happen. So I'm just gonna start at the top. AJ, I've gotta ask you, how does it feel to be back in WWE?
Surreal. A little bit like those dreams you have where you're back in high school and you didn't study for the test and also you're naked. It's kind of like that.
All at once. That's like the dueling, the worst
But
possible.
like in a good way, you know?
No comment.
We'll never forget the night in Allstate Arena when you made your return. The same arena in the same city where you, several years back, made your return. What does Chicago mean to the two of you in your careers?
Well, Chicago's where I won my first title. So in a lot of ways, it was kind of the culmination of all of my hard work. It was 14 years to get there. So to restart there was kind of poetic.
I think the WWE universe, myself included, are wondering, how do we get to this point? AJ, you yourself said you were done with wrestling. Not in a bad way, but you've accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish. You had other goals to achieve, yet here you are. What led the two of you to make this happen?
Man.
Yeah.
I think WWE is a wildly different place from when I was there 10 years ago, and a wildly different place from when AJ was there. To me, selfishly, I thought she had to see this. If I'm going to be completely honest, I like bragging about my wife, and she raised a generation of wrestlers. I think it's important for her to see that. Unfortunately for Becky Lynch, she put her hands on me, and if there's one person that has always had my back, it's my wife. It just made sense. I'm not going to touch Becky. You know, I'll beat up Seth all day long, but to me, she's the great equalizer in this situation.
AJ, I'm going to ask you to elaborate on that for me a little bit. When you left, you were at the forefront of the women's revolution. It was still in its infancy. The women's division today is robust, arguably as strong as it's ever been. What does that mean to you to be a part of it now?
I feel like that's all I ever wanted was, even if it made one person's career better or one woman could have better opportunities because of what I was doing back in the day, that's all I ever wanted. To actually see it and be in the locker room and get to hang out with these, you know, my daughters in a lot of ways is really cool and surreal, and it just feels like I felt like a baked whole cupcake in my career, and now this is the sprinkles.
You guys were both gone for 10 years. In your absences, both Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch have made it to the top of their respective divisions, and they're running WWE sort of in their own image and their vision of what WWE should be. What does the vision of WWE look like for CM Punk and AJ Lee?
I'm not trying to tell anybody how to be themselves or how to do things like maybe Seth or Becky is. I'm not trying to mold things in my vision. To me, legacy is about making other people better, and she makes me better. So this situation called for somebody better than me.
This is a rivalry that sort of exploded from something that began as professional to deeply personal, so much so that both of you have your wives involved in your rivalry. What's it going to take to end this?
I don't think it'll ever be over, honestly. It's evolved to this. I wish it was simpler. I wish it was easier. I have goals, and I'm running out of daylight. And inadvertently, he's made me the happiest man in the locker room because now I get to experience all this with my best friend. I think people might, from the outside looking in, say that this is a weakness, and to me, it's 100% my strength. I know that when my life has been its darkest, I look to my right, and there she is. When I'm in trouble in life, I can tag out. WrestlePalooza, if I get in trouble, I can tag out.
Well, AJ, unfortunately, at Monday Night Raw, Becky Lynch left you laying in the center of the ring. Are there any nerves, any trepidation before you step back into the ring for the first time in 10 years?
Maybe I'm a little nervous, but I think that's what true bravery is, being scared and doing things anyway. Just jumping in head first. I guess you gotta be a little crazy to take a risk like that, but if there's any man for the job, it's me.
Well, guys, the moment is almost upon us. WrestlePalooza, gigantic mixed tag team match. good luck. And AJ, welcome back.
Luck's for losers, bud. Thank you.
We have officially hit the under 30-minute mark till WrestlePalooza kicks off here on ESPN in Indianapolis. Stephanie McMahon is with us on the panel. Tyrese Halliburton is back. The Miz is here. I don't feel qualified to be on this panel right now, but I'm happy to be here. So, Steph, I will start with you. You know, we're coming off of an amazing sit-down interview that Corey did before getting F5 with AJ Lee and CM Punk. You have been in a mixed tag team match before. You know all about power couples. What do you make of this match that we're going to see tonight?
I think this is going to be an incredibly special match tonight, especially AJ Lee and Punk being together. I mean, I think AJ said it in that interview. It's like a dream come true. Punk said she's his ultimate strength. I mean, I think there's kind of nothing these two aren't going to be able to do together. And of course, you have to, you know, you really have to be careful when it comes to mixed tag matches,
Yes.
because anything can happen, as we have found out
Yes,
before.
we have seen
we
that time and time again. Miz, you know a thing or two about power couples as well. How do you see this playing out tonight?
Oh, I love a good power couple match. I mean, myself and my wife like to call ourselves the ultimate power couple, the it couple, if you will. But let's face it, AJ Lee, CM Punk, they're back. And everyone is excited, everybody is ready. But let's face it, this is not a nostalgia act. This is about who's at the top of their game right now, right here, and there's no one more on the top of their game than Becky Lynch, the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, every time she sets out to do something big, she makes it bigger. And then you got the ultimate strategist, Seth freaking Rollins, with Paul Heyman in his corner. So
Are you just trying to be contrary to me?
I'm not trying to be contrary.
I mean, it seems that way. I'm just saying.
I
I'm
love
just saying.
power couples, by the
Okay,
way.
all
I
right,
love Stephanie
okay.
McMahon and Triple H.
Okay,
I love
thank
them to
you.
death.
All right,
and
okay,
if you
yeah.
guys want to
I
get into
guess.
a match, we can get into a match. I mean, I'll just throw it out there.
I mean, you'd be down to see that. I'd love to see that. Let me ask you, you know, you're a huge fan of this business. You talk about Seth Rollins always having a plan. We call him the architect. But AJ Lee made a great point. She said, you can't plan for me because I'm unpredictable. What are you looking for in this match? What are you excited about?
I'm excited to see Punk. I'm excited to see him with his wife. You know, I think that AJ is going to bring out a different energy in Punk. I think that he's going to be reinvigorated by her being there. There's nothing like being there with your partner, and I'm really excited to see her come back with her husband. I think it's going to be really fun.
It is the match I'm most looking forward to tonight. Like, I still cannot believe that AJ Lee is back. Like, I actually met her for the first time 10 minutes ago and totally embarrassed myself. I was just like, I love you so much.
She's
That's
incredible.
what I said.
She's incredible.
Insanely
You
talented.
didn't do that the first time you met me.
Well, you
No,
were
she
mean-
did
you
on
were
the
mean to
inside.
me. You were mean
I
to me
wasn't
the first
mean to
time.
you.
You were a bit mean. You
I
were a
was
bit
not mean.
Oh,
I was
she's
trying
very
to educate her
serious,
and
very
motivate her to be
serious.
the best interviewer she could be.
Oh,
That's
did
what
it
he
work?
said.
Testing her.
Did it work?
I mean, I'm here, so maybe he did have
Did
a good impact on me.
Ms. heel on Tyrese too? I mean, were you giving him pointers? No.
I just think Tyrese, I think the world of Tyrese, man. I think you're doing exactly what you need to be
I
doing.
appreciate that,
I
man.
can't wait to see when you come back and you're all healed and 100%. I think the Pacers are a very good team. I don't like you beating my Cavaliers, but I enjoy
I don't
seeing you
apologize.
here at the desk. I love watching you on the Pat McAfee show. I think you're doing all the right things and you have a brain that literally the world is your oyster.
I appreciate that, man. I
And he
appreciate that.
genuinely loves WWE because you've been up for anything that this place has thrown at you, and you also sat down with Stephanie McMahon on her podcast. So I want to make sure you get this. You can listen to that very soon, Miz. It's called What's Your Story? It is, of course, hosted by Stephanie McMahon, and she sat down with Tyrese. Let's take a look at a clip from that conversation.
Trust me, you know how many times I tried to convince your husband to let me go through a table or do something?
Tonight's the night.
No, he will. Every time I say it, I'm like, okay, so like, what if we,
Like, let's really talk.
Yeah, like if
Yeah.
you want me to be like, if you want to be.
I'm
that guy-
talking. I'm doing all your commentary for you. and all your pre-shows.
Exactly. Put me through a table.
You know.
You know what I mean? Like,
is that so much to ask?
yeah, I feel like it,
Such
and,
a-
and I
it's such
keep
a
telling him,
normal
he's like,
request.
The NBA would never let us. I said, who cares? I don't have to ask them. Like I tell our front office that all the time because I'm like, I'm going to WWE. Like, you do anything? I'm like, no. But if I was, you would never know because you would tell me I couldn't do it. So I'm a big believer in ask for forgiveness, not permission. So
Okay.
I'm gonna eventually, I'm gonna get annoying enough that he's gonna let me do something.
But so the squeaky wheel gets the grease,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean, you do. You have to kind of
We're
be
gonna do
relentless.
something. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna jump off the top. I would love. I feel like that's my cheat code. Jump off the top rope into a crowd of like 10 guys standing
Okay.
up.
All right.
Catch
Catch
me.
you.
Right?
Oh, I love it. That is a clip from Stephanie McMahon's podcast, What's Your Story? You can see it on all audio platforms and WWE's YouTube channel. You said you want to go through a table. I mean, what would the advice be to Tyrese
There's a
if he gets the
table right
opportunity?
here, my friend.
Okay, let's back
This
up,
is
Jackie.
Nah, leave this one alone. This one
Isn't that a way to
This
start
one is very
WrestlePalooza?
It would be a great way to start WrestlePalooza, actually. You make a valid point, Miz. I'm not going to lie. I hate to give
We're
you
all
credit.
about moments here
but
in
it is
WWE.
true. Well, listen, I hope one day we do get to see a big-time moment from you, Tyrese, either going through a table or jumping into a crowd of people. But, Steph, before we let you go, because we are running out of time, I do want your thoughts on what this day means. WWE, the worldwide leader, I would say, in sports and entertainment, teaming up with the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN.
It is just incredible to be a part of ESPN. You know, to hear Stephen A. Smith and Cam Newton arguing back and forth over who their top 5 are, to hear, you know, and see just all of the coverage. I mean, it is mainstream as it possibly gets. It's just remarkable. It's a partnership that, quite frankly, we've been working on for a very long time, and I could not be more proud to be here tonight.
It feels like WWE is as big as it's ever been. Do you think that's fair?
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. WWE is as big as it's ever been. And it's thanks to The Miz and everybody who's been here. And it's thanks to Tyrese and other celebrities who are getting involved who just love our business the same way all of us do. And it's just our family is growing ever bigger.
It certainly is, and a big piece of that puzzle is today, WrestlePalooza on ESPN, and we are like less than 15 minutes away from kicking it off. Stephanie McMahon, thank you so much. Check out her podcast, What's Your Story, to see her interview with Tyrese Halliburton. For now, let's turn it over to Michael Cole in the ring.
Hey, Jackie, thank you very much. And I echo everything Stephanie McMahon said. This is a passion. This is about emotion as we embark on this, well, historic relationship between WWE and ESPN. I was given the opportunity earlier this week to sit down and write an essay about what tonight means to me.
The way I feel right now, I feel like we need to be all alone.
Between CBS News and WWE, I've been a broadcaster at the highest level for 37 years. But never in my wildest imagination did I think I would become a regular part of ESPN. As for the WWE becoming an integral part of the growth of the network, the worldwide leader in sports, I would have said, no way. Never. I mean, ESPN has dabbled in pro wrestling before. Back in its early days in the mid-'80s, the network was struggling to fill programming.
AWA Championship Wrestling on ESPN.
Fans could catch matches from the AWA or NWA promotions. A handful of superstars over the years would appear randomly in the vintage This Is Sports Center commercials.
All right, you have a good day now.
Not too much foam, please.
Thanks, buddy. That helps. WrestleMania received sporadic coverage, but the mindset toward WWE began to shift in 2016. At WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, the network spent the entire day broadcasting live from the event. I had the chance to be a part of ESPN recently, making guest appearances on the Pat McAfee Show.
I was really conflicted about whether to come in here today.
Okay, Michael Cole. Jeez Louise.
Especially during WrestleMania week.
Cole, stop being soft.
But tonight is different. Tonight is historic. Tonight changes everything. It's akin to our network television debut on Fox or our streaming debut on Peacock and Netflix. Because now WWE is no longer an event just being covered by ESPN. This company has become a cornerstone and the foundation of a truly groundbreaking moment. The launch of the ambitious and history-making ESPN app, the home to all sports. Tonight is for me and all those who have dedicated their lives to WWE, who have delivered every fiber of our being, every emotion, every passion, every waking thought into proving to the world of sports and entertainment that we belong. This is vindication. This is acceptance. This is admission that we have arrived. So tonight, it will be my honor to be the voice behind every single one of you who have worked tirelessly to make this moment happen, to sit at ringside and utter the words, "Welcome to WrestlePalooza," live on ESPN.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, a very emotional night for me as well, and we thank all of you, the WWE fans who have been along for the ride to get us to this moment on ESPN. Another person who has been very integral in getting us on ESPN is joining me now. Joe Tessitore, one of the great voices of WWE, part of Monday Night Raw, is here. Joe, welcome.
You just said welcome. I want to welcome you to the ESPN family officially, Michael Cole, and I know it does mean a lot for everybody on the production team. I've said this to you through the years. I've spent the better part of my 25 years in the mainstream sports. I'm honored to spend the past year by your side and this team side. You are among the best broadcasters. And now to me, being on ESPN, the mainstream audience that hasn't always taken it in will soon realize that your voice being attached to this night is special. The things I want to talk about when we put it into perspective: reach, scope, and activation. These two brands know how to do it better than any two brands in sports entertainment. You've seen it all week long, right? And the significance is this: as somebody that just did an ABC college football game a few hours ago and WWE was plastered all over the place, WWE now instantly is part of the mainstream conversation with the mainstream sports fans. I believe WWE is the best storytelling there is and best entertainment there is out there. Sports always tries to take what WWE has: the great characters, the great story arcs, the compelling drama, and the action. You know that's getting over-delivered tonight.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the match that will kick off WrestlePalooza tonight, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. Let's take a look at the tale of the tape between these two superstars. Brock Lesnar promises pain. Brock Lesnar promises to torture John Cena. It is the renewal of a long-time rivalry. Lesnar-Cena tonight.
Feel the earth grow. Something's brewing.
Tonight, I officially announce my retirement from the WWE.
New to this home, on the horizon, elevates to something more.
2025 will be my last.
Got a dream that's filling up the skies, like an eclipse that keeps showing up again. Let the vision flash before your eyes, and you'll be ready to begin.
Thank you so much for a beautiful ride.
He's on some retirement escapade, this staged retirement party, and I'm about to f that up.
Brock Lesnar makes a target out of me, attacks me, and challenges me to a match.
Hey, John, I'll see you at WrestlePalooza, bitch. When I hear John Cena's name, I think of a little bit of resentment. If Brock Lesnar would have stayed in the WWE, you would not know the name John Cena today. Just saying, you're welcome. John went out of his way to shake hands and kiss babies, and I didn't. I crushed skulls and I hurt everybody's feelings.
I have had matches with Brock Lesnar before. They are some of the toughest challenges I have ever faced.
I've owned John Cena for 25 years. In 2003, I kicked his ass.
Am I afraid of Brock Lesnar? Yes, I am.
In 2012, I kicked his ass.
Could I fail? Yes, I could.
In 2014, I kicked his ass.
Will I back down? Will I give up? Hell no!
I ain't buying into this. I know exactly who you are.
I am the last real champion.
He's a damn fraud, is what he is.
I've taken your best shot for over 20 years, and I'm still standing.
John Cena's the greatest of all time until I get my hands on him.
We will take the fight to the beast, because that is what we do.
At WrestlePalooza, I'm gonna kick John Cena's ass right into retirement.
If you want some, come get some!
Are we done? Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Brock Lesnar and John Cena had their match on the SummerSlam that was after WrestleMania 30, that it was uncomfortable to watch. And not just like wrestling analyst painting a picture. I mean, as a fan, like, we really hadn't experienced seeing somebody on the level of John Cena just getting beat that badly in a match with just a suplex over and over and over again, to the point that the audience was uncomfortable. And I think it launched Brock Lesnar into this new era where he has these uncomfortable moments where, you know, honestly, when he beat Kofi, it was an uncomfortable thing to see. It was like, this is not what we wanted. This is uncomfortable. I mean, you know, when he took your title, it was not what we wanted to see. It was uncomfortable. It didn't feel like wrestling anymore.
When he rained down those elbows on Randy Orton's face and had his head spurting blood. Talk about uncomfortable. Honestly, when I think about all the uncomfortable moments in wrestling, also him breaking the Undertaker streak, it's all Brock Lesnar. It's all Brock. He is a scary, scary individual. As someone who has been in the ring with him a few times, that blend of power, of speed, and you always start to, when you look at athletes who are at a certain age, you start to wonder, when does it decline? I don't know what this man is made of, because I see no decline. I don't think a decline is even on the horizon. This match is going to be brutal. It is going to be physical. It is going to be uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is honestly the best way to put it. And you look at John Cena, and I think of this farewell tour, it very easily could be, let's have friendly, fun exhibitions, and let's go on about our way. There is none of that with Brock Lesnar. You are going to be in for the fight of your life. If you're a big Cena fan, you might need to say a prayer. Honestly, I don't know how Cena gets out of this match with the W. It's possible. I'm not going to count him out. If anyone can, it's John Cena.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of match do you see happening, Megan? Is this going to be like one of these one-sided Brock fest that just leave you feeling depleted as a fan, going, I can't believe it? He's right that there is that thing about Cena, right, where it's either his match with Cody at SummerSlam, it's the match with Logan Paul was incredible. Like, he's had the match with Sammy on SmackDown.
I was just about to say Sami Zayn.
Incredible, except that's not the type of match that anyone has with Brock Lesnar.
Yes, but we also have been on this retirement tour with Cena, and we just started to get the real Cena back. I want to see John Cena continue, but everything you're saying, you take one look at Brock Lesnar in the entrance, and you know it's different. It feels different. It looks different. It sounds different. I mean, I think you use the word aura to describe him on your Not Sam podcast. I mean, Brock Lesnar is truly a different beast, but if this is Cena's last rodeo, perhaps it invokes something as well.
It's true, but everybody's talking about Cena's retirement tour, Cena's last rodeo. Big E, you know better than anyone. Everyone's got a plan, and then Brock Lesnar gets put into it.
Absolutely. He will destroy your plan very, very quickly. This man is a monster, truly is a monster.
Gentlemen, half of you are going home.
Bubba, you are the worst coach. I dare you to come down from that chair and put a hand on me.
WWE LFG, new episode tomorrow at 10, only on A&E. Watch next day on the A&E app.
I had a dream WrestleMania 41 was the most successful WrestleMania in history. So we're running it back to the sports and entertainment capital of the world. WrestleMania returns in 2026. Are you ready?
It's only fitting that the marquee sign for Lesnar and Cena is right behind me because John Cena literally just walked past this sign about 45 seconds ago, which means in just a few moments, he's going to walk out that curtain, probably say a few nice words to our veteran cameraman Stu, and then go sprinting towards the ring. But for all the conversation we've heard about whether or not Cena's confident enough to slay the beast, I'll tell you what I just saw. I saw a 17-time World Heavyweight Champion, future WWE Hall of Famer, and a man who is locked in and ready to go to war with the Beast Incarnate. Well, speaking of the Beast Incarnate, I now send things over to Kathy Kelly for more on Brock Lesnar.
Well, Byron, I am actually here with Stu right now, and in just a few moments, this is the hallway that John Cena and Brock Lesnar will be walking down. They will be heading into Gorilla for their final match. And if Brock Lesnar has it his way, this will be John Cena's final match in WWE as well. And look who it is, Peter Rosenberg. Peter, do you want to take it over from here?
I will take it from here. It's a very, very exciting evening. You talked about John. Byron talked about John and made great sense, of course, the amount of times that he has walked through Gorilla, and to think there'll be only 4 more times after tonight. So this is the path John Cena will go on. And hold on, Stu, one more thing. Let's not forget, this is also the path AJ Lee's going to take for the first time in 10 years to a match. So this is the journey out into the arena here in Indianapolis, where the fans are getting very, very, very excited. The people are starting to feel it right now. And I just keep thinking about the emotions John Cena must have. 23 years, it comes down to 5 dates, 4 after tonight. And with that, my broadcast colleague on ESPN and WWE,
How are you, my man?
Joe Tess. How are you, buddy?
The energy's unbelievable in here. Shall I take it from here, Peter?
Take the journey,
and we'll go down, Stewie, what we will call sort of Cena Alley. I mean, it is filled with last time is now in Pacers color. This will be the final approach, and it comes down the entryway in just a matter of moments. It is on for WrestlePalooza. Now, let me say this, because I've been asked a few times what makes this difference this week, and I'll tell you what it is. It's Brock Lesnar, because the air changes in every arena, every stadium when you're dealing with Brock Lesnar. Why? Because of unmitigated danger, of violence, of that shock of what's coming next. I've been blessed in my career that I was around with Mike Tyson making his pro debut. The air changed in the room then. It's still that way with Brock Lesnar. We saw that last night on Friday Night SmackDown, and in just moments, this crowd here is going to sense it. Jackie, they are amped up.
All right, we are up here on the stage by the ramp that you just walked out on. Peter Rosenberg, Jackie Redmond, and Big E. And we are just moments away from a historic WrestlePalooza here in Indianapolis. We've talked a lot about John Cena and Brock Lesnar, who are going to kick this thing off. Do we know what to expect from this? I mean, after what we saw from Brock last night, I'm a little concerned for John Cena.
Brutality. That's what we have to expect. We expect brutality. The question for me is, can John Cena withstand the wave that is coming? If he can't, it's going to be Brock Lesnar all night.
Listen, it's hard to disagree with Big E. Brock Lesnar brings it every time. John Cena has felt that pain before, but I said it earlier and I'll say it again. Hear that? Let's go, Cena. A very fake Cena sucks tonight, okay? It's going to be a lot of love for John Cena. When they hear the music and they see him tonight and Alicia Taylor announces him, it's going to be all love and support for John.
It is. I mean, I've seen nothing but really John Cena merch all over Indy since I arrived yesterday. But it's not the only match on tonight's card to be excited about. E, we're running out of time, but what is a match that you are really looking forward to tonight?
Look, if you know me, you know I'm biased. It's the return of AJ Lee, someone who has changed this business. You talk about her influence on you, Roxanne, so many of the women on this roster in NXT, on the
she's
Indies.
a badass,
They're
man.
here in this industry because of AJ Lee. Her return after a decade is going to be incredible.
Yeah, but you're not talking about the greatest women's wrestler of all time, and it's not just her that says it. Sports Illustrated says it. Becky Lynch, of course, a huge night for her as well, and Seth Rollins. Very excited. Plus the vision in action. There's a lot.
Listen, I cannot bet against CM Punk and AJ Lee. It just feels like they are destined for a dub here tonight. Plus Larry's in the building, so that's got to count for something.
You guys saw Larry had a sticker. There's a
his own dressing room.
Merch. He's got action figures. Larry's a big deal.
No, Punk was just strolling him down the hallway moments before.
Listen, if Larry could talk, one of us would be out of a job, okay?
That's
what I do know for absolute sure. All right, so we got the tag match. The Women's World Championship has been vacant, right? Since Naomi announced that she's expecting. Congratulations again to her. What about that match?
Well,
I'm excited for that one, too.
Cole made a great point. That match could easily steal the show. And you know how I know?
Io has a tendency of doing that.
Thank you. You took the words out of my mouth.
sorry.
Because every time Io's on the show, she steals the show.
All right, guys, we're getting the rap signal, which means it's go time, baby. WrestlePalooza on ESPN, a historic day for WWE. Big shout out to Tyrese Halliburton for helping us host the Countdown show today. For Peter Rosenberg and Big E, I'm Jackie Redmond. Thank you so much for watching WrestlePalooza on ESPN. Oh, it starts now.
Wow, that sounds good.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to sing God Bless America, please welcome two-time Grammy Award nominees, The War and Treaty.
God, please bless America. It's the land we all love. Stand beside her, Lord, guide her through the night with the light above. From the mountains through the prairies, through the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, it's my home, sweet home.
If you or someone you love likes wrestling, you'll want to pay attention.
Tonight, two global powerhouses under a spotlight the world has never seen. WWE on ESPN. This isn't just an event. It's a moment in sports history
You ain't seen nothing yet.
the world will be watching.